Denver voters will decide if the city should become the first in America to decriminalize so-called magic mushrooms. That's Initiative 301 on your ballot. We've talked quite a bit about Initiative 300, a repeal of the city's camping ban, which mainly impacts people who are homeless. But perhaps you'd like a refresher before you cast your vote. Here's Politics Guy Marshall Zellinger.
Should the homeless in Denver be allowed to sleep in public places without fear of being swept away? A yes vote on Initiated Ordinance 300 would let people sleep in public spaces, like parks and sidewalks, as long as they're not blocking the sidewalk. They could also sleep in a vehicle on public property, like along a neighborhood street. This would not allow anyone to legally sleep or camp out on private property, like your front yard. A no vote keeps Denver's camping ban in effect, where police and public works could continue homeless camp sweeps. This is the paragraph you'll see on your ballot. This, however, is the actual text of the ordinance, which does not appear on your ballot. It includes this paragraph that basically says Denver cannot enforce policies that limit what 300 allows. So would park curfews be enforceable? Could they be asked to leave for a permitted event like a wedding or a 5K race? Issues like that might have to be decided by a judge. The other initiated ordinance on Denver ballots is 301. That would decriminalize psilocybin mushrooms. But for the rest of the story, we'll just call them magic mushrooms. The Drug Enforcement Administration labels magic mushrooms a Schedule I drug. Other Schedule I drugs include heroin and marijuana. A yes vote makes possession of magic mushrooms by someone 21 or older the lowest priority for Denver police. It does not legalize magic mushrooms. It would still be illegal to sell or produce them. A yes vote just tells Denver police to look the other way when it comes to possession. Between 2016 and 2018, DPD made 158 arrests for possession of magic mushrooms. A no vote on 301 keeps Denver police priorities no different than today.
Ballots were mailed out on Monday, so if you don't see yours pretty soon, you can't call 311 to check. Voting centers for in-person voting open on April 29th. The last day to vote in person or have that ballot returned to elections is May 7th.